There comes a moment in every person's life when they look around and realize nobody's coming to save them. Nobody's coming to hand you your dreams, your peace, or your financial freedom. That moment right there is the turning point. Because when you stop waiting for someone else to fix it, and you decide to focus and invest in yourself, that's when your entire life begins to shift. You see, for too long, most people have been busy watching others win, cheering for others' success, scrolling through highlights of somebody else's life while neglecting their own. But today, that changes. Today, you stop being the spectator and you become the main character in your own story. Nobody's coming to save you. That's the truth most people don't want to face. We grow up hoping someone will see our potential, give us a chance, or open the right door. But life doesn't work like that. You can't wait for permission to become great. You can't wait for someone to come along and pull you out of your struggle. Because the moment you realize it's only you, the moment you accept full responsibility for where you are and where you're going, that's the beginning of real power. When you stop waiting and start working, something shifts on the inside. You stop operating from a place of fear and you begin to move from purpose. Every time you take ownership of your future, you silence the excuses that used to hold you hostage. Excuses are the language of the average, but responsibility is the language of leaders. You have to lead your own life before you can lead anything else. No one else can want your success more than you. You can have a mentor, a coach, a friend who inspires you, but none of them can make you show up. None of them can do the work for you. You have to want it badly enough to wake up early, to stay late, to practice when nobody's watching. The hunger to become more must be greater than the comfort of staying the same. You have to be honest with yourself. Look at your habits, your choices, your circle. Ask yourself, are these things helping me build the future I want? Or are they keeping me comfortable where I am? Most people don't fail because they lack potential. They fail because they refuse to take accountability. It's easier to blame others than to confront your own lack of discipline. But once you decide to take full ownership, nobody can stop you. The truth is, every successful person you admire made this same realization. They reached a point where they said, enough. I'm done waiting. I'm done wishing. I'm done hoping someone will come fix this. They started creating their own opportunities. They stopped waiting for doors to open and began building their own. That mindset is what separates the dreamers from the doors. Life rewards responsibility. The universe, God, whatever you call it, does not bless confusion or laziness. It blesses clarity, action, and consistency. When you prove that you can handle small things with excellence, bigger opportunities begin to appear. But if you can't manage yourself, your time, and your energy, you'll never be trusted with more. Responsibility is the bridge between potential and purpose. The day you stop expecting help from others is the day you start unlocking your strength. You begin to see that you already have everything you need. The skills, the ideas, the resources, the creativity. It's all inside you. You just need to activate it. The world doesn't owe you anything. The results you want are waiting on you to show up with discipline and belief. It's easy to blame circumstances, but the truth is, many people have come from less and done more. They use their pain as fuel, their challenges as training. They didn't wait for perfect timing. They made their timing perfect by acting in faith. If you're waiting for ideal conditions, you'll be waiting forever. Start where you are with what you have and give it everything. When you take full ownership, life becomes simple. It might not be easy, but it becomes clear. You stop looking around for help and start looking within for solutions. You stop saying, they should, and start saying, I will. That shift in language transforms everything. Responsibility gives you control. Control gives you confidence. And confidence builds momentum. So when you feel alone, when you feel like nobody's coming, remember this truth. It's not punishment, it's preparation. You're being trained to depend on your own strength, your own faith, your own wisdom. Because the moment you understand that nobody's coming to save you, you'll finally rise and become the person who saves yourself. Focus creates power. Most people never discover how powerful they truly are because their attention is scattered in 1,000 directions. They start one thing, get distracted by another, and spend their lives reacting instead of creating. When your mind is divided, your strength is diluted. But when you channel all your energy, all your thought, and all your effort toward one clear direction, your results begin to multiply. Focus turns ordinary effort into extraordinary impact. Distractions are silent killers of destiny. Every notification, every unnecessary conversation, every moment wasted scrolling through other people's lives steals a piece of your focus. You may think it's harmless, but over time it drains your creativity, your discipline, and your clarity. Success requires a focused mind, a mind that knows where it's going and refuses to be pulled in every direction. You have to protect your focus like your life depends on it, because in truth, it does. Your focus determines your future. The world will always try to pull you off course. People will project their fears, their doubts, their insecurities onto you. They'll say, don't work too hard, or you're wasting your time, or that's impossible. But the moment you start listening to their noise, you lose the sound of your own vision. Focus means deciding that your dream is louder than their doubt. You must be so clear about where you're headed that no opinion can shake you and no distraction can stop you. You can't chase every opportunity and expect to master anything. Focus requires saying no a lot. No to the things that look good but don't serve your mission. No to the people who drain your energy but don't feed your purpose. No to habits that keep you busy but not productive. The difference between movement and progress is focus. You can be moving all day and still be stuck in the same place if your energy is scattered. Clarity and focus walk hand in hand. You can't focus on what you don't clearly understand. That's why you must define your goal in detail, what you want, why you want it, and what it will take to achieve it. When your vision is blurry, your effort becomes wasted. But when your vision is crystal clear, your actions align naturally. Focus sharpens your path like a blade. It cuts through confusion and leads you straight to your purpose. Focus isn't just about attention, it's about commitment. It's a promise you make to yourself that you won't stop until you reach the target. It's about building consistency day after day, even when it's boring, even when nobody's watching. Focused people don't depend on motivation. They depend on discipline. They don't ask, do I feel like it? They ask, did I do what I said I would do? That's the difference between average and unstoppable. When you truly focus, time bends in your favor. What used to take you years begins to take months because all your energy is directed in one direction. You begin to attract opportunities that align with your purpose, not because of luck, but because your actions are consistent with your vision. The universe rewards those who move with intention. Every day you stay focused, you shorten the distance between where you are and where you're meant to be. It's not easy to maintain focus in a world built to distract you. Every advertisement, every app, every voice competes for your attention. But the ones who master their focus master their destiny. They understand that energy flows where attention goes. So if your attention is always on what's missing, you'll keep living in lack. But if your attention stays on what you're building, your life will begin to expand in that direction. Focus requires isolation sometimes. You have to pull away from noise, from crowds, from constant chatter to hear your own inner voice again. Solitude sharpens vision. When you're alone with your thoughts, your purpose becomes louder. That's why the most successful people in every field take time to disconnect from the world and reconnect with themselves. Focus isn't loneliness, it's preparation for greatness. A focused life is a fulfilled life. Because when you live with focus, everything you do carries meaning. Every hour counts, every effort adds up, and every victory feels earned. Focus gives your life direction, structure, and power. Without it, you drift. With it, you dominate. Your greatest investment is you. Too many people spend their lives investing in everything except themselves. They pour their time into other people's dreams, and their money into fleeting pleasures, and their energy into distractions that produce no return. But the truth is, the only investment that guarantees lifelong dividends is the one you make in your own growth. When you invest in yourself, you build something that can never be taken away. Your knowledge, your skill, your mindset, and your wisdom. You are the foundation upon which everything in your life is built. If that foundation is weak, nothing you build will last. That's why it's critical to strengthen yourself daily. Read, learn, grow, develop new abilities, and challenge your thinking. Because when you grow, everything attached to you grows. Your relationships get better, your income increases, your confidence expands, and your purpose becomes clearer. Investing in yourself is not selfish, it's strategic. Many people think they can skip this process. They want the rewards without the work. They want success without preparation. But success only multiplies who you are, not who you pretend to be. If you're unprepared, opportunities will expose your weakness. But if you've invested in yourself, if you've built your skill, your discipline, and your mindset, those same opportunities will reveal your strength. You can't rise higher than your personal development allows. Your mind is your most valuable asset. Protect it and feed it wisely. The books you read, the people you listen to, the content you consume, these are investments shaping your reality. If you fill your mind with negativity, you'll produce fear. But if you fill it with faith, knowledge, and vision, you'll produce progress. Whatever you consistently expose yourself to becomes your belief system. And your belief system becomes your destiny. That's why personal growth is not optional. It's essential. Time is another form of investment. Every day you choose how to spend it. You can spend it complaining, gossiping, and scrolling. Or you can spend it studying, planning, and executing. The way you use your time reveals what you value most. You can't say you want change while giving your hours to comfort. Time, once gone, never returns. When you start treating your time like money, you stop wasting it on things that don't serve your purpose. Financial investment in yourself matters too. Some people hesitate to spend money on books, courses, or mentorship, yet they'll spend freely on clothes, food, or entertainment. But the truth is, education pays the highest interest. A single idea, skill, or connection gained from learning can change the entire direction of your life. Don't fear the cost of investing in yourself. Fear the cost of staying the same. The money you spend on your growth always returns multiplied. Investing in yourself also means caring for your body and spirit. You can't perform at your best when you're drained, unhealthy, or disconnected. Your physical and mental health are part of your success equation. Rest when you need to, exercise, eat well, and nourish your soul. A strong body supports a strong mind, and a peaceful spirit sustains focus in chaos. Growth isn't just about money or knowledge. It's about becoming whole. Surround yourself with people who also invest in themselves. Energy is contagious. When you spend time with people who are committed to growth, you naturally elevate your own standards. They challenge you to think bigger, act smarter, and stay consistent. But when you spend time with those who have no vision, they pull you back to comfort and mediocrity. Your environment is either fertilizing your potential or suffocating it. Choose wisely. Investing in yourself is a lifelong process. You don't do it once and stop. You do it continuously because growth has no finish line. Every new level of your life will demand a new version of you. You'll have to unlearn old habits, build new skills, and adopt new perspectives. The more you grow, the more you realize how much there still is to learn. That's the beauty of self-investment. It keeps you evolving, expanding, and discovering new possibilities. The results of self-investment don't always show immediately, but they always show eventually. Every book you read, every hour you practice, every sacrifice you make compounds over time. While others waste years chasing quick rewards, your steady growth builds lasting success. Because when you invest in yourself, you're not just creating a better life, you're becoming the kind of person who can sustain it. Growth requires discipline, not approval. Too many people are addicted to being seen instead of being developed. They want to be recognized before they've done the work. But true growth happens in the quiet seasons, when no one is watching, no one is applauding, and no one even notices the progress you're making. Discipline means showing up anyway, when it's hard, when it's lonely, when it's uncomfortable. It's in those unseen hours that character is built and greatness is formed. Approval is temporary, but discipline is permanent. When you chase validation, you hand your power to other people. You become dependent on their opinions to feel valuable. But when you live by discipline, your value is rooted in your own integrity. You don't need anyone to tell you you're doing great. You already know you're on the right path because you're consistent. Discipline keeps you steady when emotions fluctuate. Approval will give you a high for a moment, but discipline builds a legacy that lasts for a lifetime. Discipline is the bridge between desire and achievement. Everyone wants success, but few are willing to pay the price. The difference between wishing and winning is the ability to do what needs to be done even when you don't feel like it. Feelings are unreliable, they change daily. Discipline doesn't ask for permission from feelings. It acts on principles. It moves forward with or without motivation. That's why disciplined people keep winning long after the motivated ones quit. Approval often distracts from purpose. When your goal becomes pleasing people instead of fulfilling your calling, you lose focus on what really matters. Not everyone will understand your vision. Not everyone will support your choices, and that's okay. You weren't created to meet everyone's expectations. You were created to fulfill a specific assignment. Discipline allows you to stay aligned with that assignment even when applause fades or criticism gets loud. Discipline means doing small things well, consistently. It's waking up on time, keeping your word, managing your finances, training your mind, controlling your emotions, and guarding your habits. Every act of discipline strengthens your foundation. Every time you honor your commitment, you build trust with yourself. And that self-trust becomes unshakable confidence. When you know you'll follow through no matter what fear loses its grip on you. People who crave approval often give up too soon. The moment they don't see instant recognition or immediate results, they quit. But those who live by discipline understand that results take time. Seeds planted in silence take months to grow before anyone sees the fruit. Growth happens underground before it ever happens in public. You can't rush development. You can only stay consistent until the breakthrough appears. Discipline doesn't look glamorous, but it's powerful. It's repetition, sacrifice, and self-control. It's saying no to distractions and yes to purpose. It's turning off the noise so you can hear your own direction. The world celebrates outcomes, but the truly successful celebrate consistency. Every time you choose discipline over comfort, you rewrite your future. You may not see it immediately, but the compound effect of small, disciplined choices changes everything over time. Approval will make you perform for others. Discipline makes you perform for purpose. Approval fades when the crowd loses interest, but discipline keeps working when no one claps. It's the quiet worker, the silent builder, the unseen student who eventually rises higher than the loud performer. Because while others chase attention, disciplined people chase mastery, and mastery always attracts respect far greater than applause ever could. Discipline builds internal strength. It teaches you to lead yourself before trying to lead others. It forces you to confront laziness, excuses, and weakness until they no longer control you. It's not punishment, it's preparation. The discomfort of discipline is the training ground for resilience. The more you submit to it, the stronger you become. You stop breaking under pressure because you've already been tested by your own standards. When you stop needing approval, you free yourself. You start doing what's right, not what's popular. You start focusing on progress instead of praise. And that's when real transformation begins. Discipline may not get you noticed immediately, but it will get you remembered permanently. Because while approval fades, discipline endures, and what endures is what truly defines greatness. Renew your mindset. Everything begins and ends in the mind. The thoughts you entertain become the beliefs you live by, and those beliefs shape the quality of your entire life. If your mindset is limited, your life will be limited, no matter how much talent or opportunity surrounds you. Renewal starts when you become aware of how you think and begin to challenge the patterns that keep you stuck. Most people don't fail because of their circumstances. They fail because of their thinking. Change your mind, and your life will follow. The mind can be your greatest weapon or your greatest enemy. When you allow negativity, fear, and doubt to dominate your thoughts, you create a prison without walls. You start talking yourself out of your own potential. You start seeing problems instead of possibilities. But when you renew your mind, when you train it to focus on growth, faith, and opportunity, you begin to see a world that was invisible to you before. Renewal is not a one-time event. It's a daily decision to think higher, believe bigger, and expect better. Every new season of your life requires a new mindset. You can't step into your next level carrying the same thoughts that held you captive in your last one. Growth demands mental evolution. You have to unlearn the lies that told you what you can't do, what you don't deserve, and what's impossible for you. The mind will try to protect you from risk by replaying fear, but you must lead it with faith. You are not your past thoughts. You are the creator of new ones that build a new future. Renewing your mind is not easy because it requires honesty. It requires facing your internal dialogue and confronting the parts of yourself that have settled for less. You have to admit where your thinking has been small, where you've accepted limitations that don't belong to you. Renewal doesn't begin with pretending, it begins with truth. You can't heal what you won't face, and you can't elevate what you won't confront. The first step is awareness, and awareness brings power. Your environment feeds your mindset. The people you listen to, the content you consume, the voices you trust, all of them plant seeds in your mind. Some grow confidence, others grow fear. That's why protecting your mental space is vital. You can't keep letting negative influences shape your perspective and expect to live a positive life. Surround yourself with voices that build you, challenge you, and remind you of your potential. Because what goes into your mind will eventually show up in your reality. Renewal requires replacing old thoughts with empowering ones. You can't simply stop thinking negatively. You must start thinking intentionally. Instead of saying, I can't, you say, I will find a way. Instead of focusing on what's missing, you focus on what's possible. Every time you replace doubt with determination, you rewire your brain for success. Over time, those new patterns become automatic, and you start operating from confidence instead of fear. A renewed mindset creates resilience. When your thinking is strong, external challenges lose their power. You stop reacting emotionally to every obstacle and start responding strategically. You realize that problems aren't roadblocks, they're invitations to grow. You learn to view failure as feedback, not finality. That shift in perspective changes everything. What used to break you now builds you, because your renewed mind interprets pain as progress. Renewing your mindset also means forgiving yourself. Too many people are imprisoned by guilt, shame, and regret. They keep replaying old mistakes instead of learning from them. But you cannot walk into the future while holding hands with the past. Forgiveness frees your mind from the weight of yesterday so you can focus on creating tomorrow. Every day is a blank page, and a renewed mindset knows how to write new stories instead of repeating old ones. Renewal is also about gratitude. Gratitude shifts your attention from lack to abundance. When you start seeing what's right instead of only what's wrong, your energy changes. Gratitude doesn't ignore problems, it gives you strength to face them with faith. It trains your mind to look for opportunities even in adversity. A grateful mindset multiplies blessings because it recognizes them before they're fully visible. Renewing your mindset is a lifelong journey. You will always face moments that test your belief and challenge your focus. But each time you choose growth over fear, faith over doubt, and discipline over distraction, you expand your mental capacity. The more you renew your thinking, the more your world transforms to match it. Because life doesn't change when circumstances shift. It changes when your mindset does. Act now. Your future can't wait. Every second you delay is a piece of your destiny slipping away. Too many people spend their lives preparing to begin instead of beginning. They say they're waiting for the right time, the perfect conditions, or a better opportunity, but that moment never comes. The truth is, there is no perfect time to start. There is only now. The longer you wait, the more courage fades and fear grows. Action creates momentum, and momentum creates miracles. Nothing changes until you move. Procrastination is the silent killer of purpose. It whispers that you have time, that tomorrow will be easier, that next week you'll feel ready. But tomorrow turns into next month, and next month turns into next year, and before you know it, you're standing in the same place with the same excuses. Life doesn't reward intention, it rewards execution. The people who win aren't always the smartest or the most talented. They're simply the ones who acted while others were still thinking. You can't build a future based on hesitation. every dream requires risk. You'll never feel completely ready to take the next step. But readiness isn't a feeling. It's a decision. You prepare as much as you can, and then you move anyway. You learn as you go, you adjust as you grow, and you trust that every step forward will reveal what you need next. Overthinking keeps you trapped in potential. Action sets you free. Movement will teach you more in 1 week than waiting will teach you in a lifetime. Fear disguises itself as logic. It tells you to be cautious, to wait until you're certain, to gather more information before you act. But the truth is, most of that caution is just fear pretending to be wisdom. Real wisdom takes bold steps with faith. Every person who's ever achieved greatness felt fear, but acted in spite of it. Courage doesn't mean you don't feel afraid. It means you refuse to let fear dictate your future. The only way to build confidence is through consistent action. You don't have to have the whole path figured out to start walking. The light you need to see the next step will only appear once you move. Many people waste years trying to map out every possible scenario before they start, but life doesn't unfold that way. The doors of opportunity open as you walk toward them, not while you stand still. Progress comes to those who act with faith, trusting that the path will reveal itself along the way. Action separates dreamers from doers. Everyone dreams of success, freedom, and fulfillment, but few are willing to put in the daily work. Talking about goals feels good, but doing the work produces transformation.